Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Daniel Davidson, and I'm going to talk about branding. And our company, businessstarmakers.com, specializes in branding from every angle that you can imagine. We have experts in every area that um, basically together these experts work to create your brand from graphic design, from the standpoint of positioning your company in the marketplace, finding your competitors and deciding where your competitors are in relationship to your company and what we need to do to position you differently or ahead of your competitors, how we can change your presentation in the marketplace so that your company shines above and beyond in the eye of your particular target audience. We need to identify, for example, who your target audience is so that our branding specifically targets that target audience. Sometimes we may find that who your target audience is no longer responds to the current branding that is perceived as possibly too old or not necessarily consistent with where the profit center of your brand is. For example, uh, your company may be an older company, and in the beginning times, it may have had a population that may have been interested in a certain product. That product no longer is even a product that is produced or of any interest, and so that may no longer exist. The population that is now coming into your stores, if it's a retailer store, let's say as an example, may be looking for a completely different product line, right? But your branding may have originally been designed for that type of previous product line that no longer even exists. And the population, target audience that you had branded your company for was the target population for the previous product line. So there's a discrepancy, right? That's obvious, right? So it means all your branding is not applicable to the new target population. These people are not responding to it. Now you're spending millions of dollars still in advertising, nevertheless, except it's not effective or as effective as it could have been or it could be, right? Except you don't know it. Why? Because you haven't done your homework. Do you see how simple that is? There is so many of these kind of intricacies that, in business, very small, but very important. For example, think about Uber and Ride, right? RYDE, Uber. And Uber came out. Great idea. What does Uber mean? I don't know. Do you? I don't know if it's in another language or if it's just some made up name. I have no clue. But by the time people even learned the name Uber and memorized the name Uber, God knows how many millions or tens of millions of dollars were spent branding that name, Uber. What is that? Now think of Ride. Do you even have to think about Ride? Give me a ride. Do you realize the difference in billions or millions or whatever, tens of millions of dollars that you have to spend over 30 years in branding Uber globally versus Ride? Just the name. Nevertheless, hundreds of millions of dollars over 30 years or more. Names brands make a huge difference and can actually make a difference between success and failure, where out of 100 businesses that start, 97% fail that first year. 97%? Yes. And guess what? Over 75% of them failed the second 5 years. More. In 10 years, majority of the businesses that started have failed. Maybe 5% of them are still standing. Maybe less. 1/3 of the Fortune 500 companies or companies that are public still are making it in 25 years or something. There's a statistics that's just crazy, that these companies that are public still don't even make it in 20 years or something like that. They're just, even companies that are public don't do so well. Business is tough. Business is tough. Now, if you have a bad brand, you have to advertise just massively just to keep yourself relevant, you're shooting yourself in the foot, right? So branding could be like wind beneath your wings, or it could be like huge weight hanging from your legs while you're trying to get off the ground. You never get off the ground with a bad brand. We'll just keep you on the ground, you'll die. So you got to make sure you got the right brand and, relevant, consistent with your population, and it makes sense. Last example. My guys found this interesting thumbnail that they wanted to duplicate, and they did in fact duplicate, and they were about to put it, or they did put it online, that said crazy business ideas that work. And I guess another person who claimed to be some kind of a expert had used the word crazy with their business teachings or something. And so my guys thought that was very smart or good idea. I guess if that expert used it, they wanted to also use it. And I thought it was a horrible idea. So I told him to take it off and never ever do it again, never ever do anything without my permission, first of all, which I'll talk to you about terrible mistakes that take people down in their businesses. One of my videos that's coming, okay? Ever put anything online, let anyone put anything online without you checking it. And if you're not comfortable or familiar, make sure you check it with your attorney before it goes online. But now going back to crazy, okay? Anything that you associate with your brand, with your name, with your reputation, it better be a positive one. You're trying to be an expert and then you say crazy? How would you like to go to a crazy expert? I'm looking for a stupid, crazy, dumb, uneducated, insane. How are these negative adjectives, descriptive adjectives, are going to help someone who's supposed to be an expert? Would you like to pay a whole lot of money for a crazy expert? I wouldn't. You see what I'm saying? So you've got to be a little bit wiser than that, right? After I've gone to school for 40 years, I wouldn't certainly not want to be be branding myself as being crazy. I mean, I'm crazy enough, but everybody's crazy, right? But you don't want to be branding yourself as being crazy, right? Everybody likes to be wild and crazy. I mean, look at the crazy stuff on the wall and being wild and crazy, the Western, garb. But the point of it is, yeah, you want to have some fun. You want to be crazy. You want to have, but that's not something you want to be associating your brand to when you want to be actually, an expert. You know, that's not smart. So, smart, intelligent branding can make a whole lot of difference. And then unintelligent, and then thinking that, this person who did that is very, no, can keep you down and you're going to be out of the business very quickly, like the other 97%. Those big painful mistakes will nail your coffin. You understand? I hope you do. Okay, branding is important. So our company, businessstarmakers.com, is here to make sure you don't end up being statistics. That's why you hire experts. Because 97% of businesses fail the first year, and then 75% or more fail in the first 5 years. And then even when they're public, companies fail badly, and anywhere in between, businesses are failing, they're struggling. How do we turn the businesses around? Well, you need experts to help you turn them around. There are things that are going on, and trust me, you gotta fail over and over and over and over again as an entrepreneur, because that is part of being an entrepreneur. If you're not failing, that means you're not doing anything. That's the definition of entrepreneurship. As a business owner, you're failing in this or you're failing in that, you're trying this. If you're not failing, that means you're not making an offer, you're not selling, you're not trying anything new, you're not taking a chance on anything, you're just, I don't know what you're doing. There's no way you're not failing. Because as an entrepreneur, you're constantly trying new things. And that means if you're trying new things, there are chances of failing. Every time you try something, it's 50-50 at best. Right? So you're failing, a lot. Right? Yeah. So you got to be able to handle failure. And what do you do when you fail? Those are a whole lot of things. And that's when experts come in to help us when there are those potential painful failures that could take your business down. And you need help. That's where the experts come in. We cannot afford to allow those big failures take us down, right?